Alright guys, welcome back. Spotty Hand here. We're going to show you how to make your own brown rice flour or BRF cakes to start growing your own mushrooms. So these are the things you're going to need. You're going to need some vermiculite. This was just bought from the local hardware store. Bowl, spoon to mix with, cup measure, another cup measure. You'll want to so they're the same measure and you can keep them dry when you mix the water, you'll see later. Some mushroom jars. Now these have like a 2-piece lid here and you can see I've drilled 3 holes in there. Some people will tell you to do one of these self-healing injection ports. I have tried them, obviously. I don't see a point in them. As long as you have some micro pour tape later. You do not need them, just a hole is fine. Alright, we've got our brown rice here, just regular organic brown rice from the supermarket. Our blender, which we are going to blend our brown rice in to make our brown rice flour. Hence a BRF cake. So I'm not going to measure this because I will be using a bit more later. I'm going to pour about that much. Get rid of that now. Blender cap on. Turn that on. Actually, do it this way. Alright, not sure if you can see that. I'll move it over here. Probably should have told you to turn your volume down there, but that's about the consistency we want. You can see it's like breadcrumbs, and that is our brown rice flour made. Now, for our actual mixture, get this out of the way now. What we will need is a mixture of 2 parts of our vermiculite, 1 part of our brown rice flour and 1 part water. So I'm going to get on that very shortly, as you will see. Now I'm going to start with vermiculite. I'll tell you why I do that in a moment. So I'm going to start with 2 cups of vermiculite. Now I put this in first because I'll put the water next and mix it up, and then it stops the flour from clumping. So I've got everything everywhere. That's 1. You don't have to be too accurate with this, but it does help. 2. Now I'm just going to go over here and fill up my water. Just tap water is fine. No need to get purified water. Now I'm going to put a little bit in and mix, as I said before, just to stop it clumping up. Makes it a bit easier to get an even mix. Get some more in there. Yeah, please let me know, guys, how these videos are going. If they're helpful, leave some questions, leave some comments. I'm very new to this, so any feedback is appreciated. Dump the rest of that water in there. Oops. All right, now we're going to get our dry cup. So I was talking about before. I'm going to pour out 1 cup. Perfect. Now, as I said, we don't want it to clump up. It's not that bad if it does, but it just makes it easier to work with later. Mix, mix, mix. Alright, once this is mixed up, we are ready to put it into our jars. Alright guys, I have mixed that up nice and evenly, and I've obviously made way too much for 4 jars, so ideally do the math a little better than I did, or it doesn't really matter. I mean, this stuff's not expensive, so it doesn't matter if you throw it in the garden afterwards. You'll notice I'm not being very sterile at the moment, which doesn't matter because we will sterilize later. I'll show you how to do that in a moment. Now, to fill the jars, might zoom that in, too close. All right, to fill the jars, just want to get a few scoops in there. You see I'm not squashing it down as such, just leaving it nice and airy. Just to about, not sure if you can see, but probably just where the thread starts on that jar. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and do that to all 4 jars. I will eventually do some more of these, but for now, just to show you guys, 4 is fine. All right. Oof, sorry. All right, nice and loose. A little bit of gap at the top there. Now, can move that to the side. Move my rubbish away. Okay. Now, what you're going to do with the back of your spoon, let's see, where are we? Is we're just going to go around and not totally squash it down, but just pack the top of it so it's flat. So if you can see, that's nice and flat. Going to do that to all 4 now. Now, a lot of people say to clean around this edge so you don't get mycelium creeping through. I have done it with the cleaning the edge, and I've done it without. I always get a little bit of creep, and it never really affects my cakes. So do with that information what you will. But I just find it easier not to bother cleaning as long as it's flat like that. Now, you'll notice I have a cup of just dry vermiculite there. And what I'm going to do with that is just in each cake. Oops, going to make a mess, but that's okay. Fill it up just to the rim, if not a tiny bit over, because that will squash down. Next cake. All right, now once you have your cakes, we're just going to get our middle part of our lid there, put them on top. You'll notice they do sit, some of them a little bit higher than the edge. You also notice a little bit of that brown rusty stuff there. It's not dirt, it's just rust. It doesn't affect anything yet. You'll see it's sitting a little bit higher, but once we put the lid on, that will squash itself down. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now again, there's lots of methods out there. I know there's some purists out there who will say this is the wrong way to do it. I'm showing you what works for me. I find this, I have never had a problem. I've never had contamination. I always get good fruit. Do it up nice and tight at this stage. Don't worry about it popping or anything because we do have our holes. All right. Next thing we will need are a few just squares of foil and some rubber bands. Now I'm just going to wrap our foil, put our rubber band around like so, and that is ready to be sterilized. Do the same to the rest of your jars, and I'll be back in a moment to show you how we load up my makeshift sterilizer. Once again, probably not the best method, but it does work. It is cheap with just things I've had lying around the house. See you soon. All right, I'm back again. As you can see, I've wrapped up all 4 of my jars that I showed you last time. What I'm going to need now is just a regular pot. This is the way I do it without a pressure cooker. Once again, never had a problem with it. Yeah, so big pot. You'll need a tea towel to go in the bottom of it, or a cloth. Just a plate that fits inside. And then what we're going to do is I'm gonna grab some water. This is just a jug I held out, just a tap water. You want it just under that plate level. Doesn't really matter if the plate gets wet or not. All right, we only need just a little bit in there. We're going to place our jars inside. We are going to place a lid on top. We're then just going to bring that to the boil. Then we're going to let it simmer for an hour and a half. I usually do, just with the lid on like so. Once the hour and a half is up, switch it off and leave it till tomorrow morning, when we will inoculate these with the spore syringes that we made in the other episode. Okay, I will see you soon once this is steaming. All right, you can see here that my water is just boiling, just a bit of steam building up in there, and that's how we want it to sit for the next hour and a half. I can put my timer on here. Then obviously after the hour and a half, what we're going to do is I'm just literally going to leave it exactly how it is and put it off to the side, wake up in the morning, and then I will start filming again for the next episode where I show you guys how to inoculate jars. See you soon.